If you've been disappointed by 2020, it's not over yet because keyword tools just got a lot worse. And actually, it's not all the keyword tools. It's actually a part of keyword tools. Some metrics in most of the popular keyword tools, Ahrefs, SEMrush, even Ubersuggest, and several others have gotten worse. Namely, the traffic metric, which is the traffic that most people were using in the last 2 to 3 years to actually pick their keyword as the main thing, because SEOs have evolved to create pages about topics rather than pages about keywords, and search volume for a given keyword is not as important as the total traffic you might get from all the long tail keywords, and that's what that traffic metric was doing. However, the main data source for this traffic metric has been shut down. It's been shut down at the end of January this year, and it was a program called JumpShot that was provided mainly by Avast Antivirus. So Avast Antivirus actually has a free software. People can go download it on their site, and a lot of people use it. It even comes pre-installed on a lot of like OEM computers. And it was essentially a free antivirus in exchange for collecting data on how people search, etc., among other things. And this data was resold to tools like Ahrefs, SEMrush, Neil Patel, etc.
It was, just to point out, it was also anonymized data. So it wasn't like they were selling your search history or whatever.
The same way as Facebook essentially resells your data and like allows me to buy ads in front of the right people, but I don't know who these people are, you know? So it's kind of the same way.
Yeah, you get a piece of software for free, but you pay for it in the anonymized data, essentially.
Exactly. And so that data was the number one source for the traffic estimate, but also the clicks per search, which were really interesting in a world of featured snippets and zero-click searches. Like, you remember, like half of the searches last year, well, half of the searches last year were no-click searches. So people did not click, they read the featured snippet, or they check the images on top, or whatever like that. And so this data was really important for picking your keywords, so you knew how much traffic the top pages were getting, and you could take into account these things like zero-click searches, like long-tail keywords, etc. And this is now not dead. All these metrics still exist in SEMrush, in Ahrefs, etc. But it's a lot worse because that was one of the main sources of data for that. And that's why you might have seen erratic traffic curves in Ahrefs or SEMrush, etc. because they have lost this. And it was still okay in January when they shut it down, or like the beginning of February, because that data was still fresh. You know, they got the last batch at the end of January, and now we're getting to a point where all that old data is just irrelevant, especially when Google does massive core updates and reshuffles everything. Then you can't rely on that old data anymore as well, and that's creating the problem we have today, which is the traffic data is probably, I mean, I can't really put a number on it, and I'm not going to do that because Tim's going to get mad at me, because I don't know, to be honest, but from what I've tested, is a lot worse, basically. What that means is that keyword difficulty is definitely keyword research is definitely taking a step back, and it's going to be a little bit harder. And it's, in general, creating a page is going to be a lot more of a shoot in the dark and kind of like instinct thing than in terms of what you're going to get for traffic than it used to be. And it's a little bit annoying. It's still somewhat usable. So yesterday, actually, I spent time, I had Ahrefs open, I had SEMrush open, and I had Google Analytics open for several sites. And I was comparing, I was putting the top organic landing pages in Google Analytics, and I was checking what Ahrefs and SEMrush were saying are the top landing pages for organic. And so it gave me an idea of like how good they are. It was still right about 60% of the time, right? So still somewhat usable, but still there was pages that were in the top 15 on Google Analytics that would be like number 60 on Ahrefs or SEMrush, for example, and they would completely miss it out. And it means you could not rely on this. So what does this mean for people using these metrics, doing keyword research, which I still recommend you use, it's still good enough. Again, it means there's more uncertainty when you pick a topic. You might hit a flop, or you might actually strike gold not knowing. And so for that reason, before I used to set the traffic threshold on Ahrefs at about 100. It says like 100 traffic. It used to be a minimum. Now, because of what I've seen, I'm actually going to lower it down to around 50. And I'm going to just go deeper on the pages that they recommend. Even if that means that some of them will get less traffic, overall, a lot of pages that will be lower will be not targeted by competitors and will be missed by essentially the traffic algorithm, and there will be high traffic pages that should be much higher, but because it's been wrong, it didn't work. So I'm just gonna go lower. I'm not going to be afraid of long tail, basically. So that's what I wanted to say. Now, Ahrefs been coming clean about this, but every tool is affected. So it's not like you can just like sign up, like unsubscribe from Ahrefs and go subscribe to ACMrush or whatever. I mean, go and try it if you want. But like from everything I've tried, the numbers are actually quite close for all these tools, actually. So anything to say about this?
Yeah, so like hasn't it always been kind of a bit off? Like I've seen examples like of sites where I would compare traffic and analytics, and it's like it's almost bang on. But I've also seen some when it's like by a factor of like 8 off. So how much of this is like I feel like there's this kind of problem in our community where people are they look at Ahrefs traffic first and like
instead of analytics,
my site's gone down. Here's a picture of Ahrefs, as opposed to like, well, what's analytics say? Well, it's not quite as bad as that. Like, you know.
I mean, here's the one thing that I'm seeing now that I didn't see before is like it gets the direction wrong. So it says the site goes up when it's going down and vice versa. And that was always right before. Like they were, I mean, not always, but like very, very consistent.
I don't know. I mean, even on Authority Hacker, like there was this like, it's a really like up
Authority
and down.
Hacker is a bit of a different one because actually we rank for the keyword clickbank, which is a massive keyword. But it's a branded keyword. And around branded keywords, they can't predict the CTR because they don't understand, like they don't have the data.
The model's really different because
because people who will in ClickBank, 95% of them will click on ClickBank, right?
More.
But they don't understand. It's like it's 144,000 searches per month. So I think we're middle of page 1. So they attribute a lot of traffic to us.
Got it.
That actually was never here in the first place. So when you rank for a lot of branded keywords, it's always been kind of shitty. But if you rank for informational keywords, commercial keywords, etc., it used to be much more accurate than it is now. It's a bit of a step back. But like after playing with it for a day, I'm still gonna use it. I'm just gonna be much more wary of what I'm seeing, basically.
Do you think this gives an advantage to anyone?
I mean, it gives an advantage to people who have Google Analytics properly set up on their site and can build more sites ranking for the same queries, you know? Because what it does is like that data becomes more private, right? Like if you like before you could just throw most sites in Ahrefs and have a good idea. Now it's wrong enough that you can gain competitive advantage if you're on top already, you know, and actually try to push more keywords or push more domains by competitor domains and like write the traffic, the content for this, etc. So the people that have the accurate information through Analytics and Search Console have more power now. All right, well, we're gonna close it here. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you tomorrow with another episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, click on the like button on YouTube, subscribe, and drop us a comment if you will trust the traffic metrics still, or if you never trusted it or anything like that. We want to know down in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.